Hi everyone. So we are moving into chapter 9. Chapter 9, we are going to be working a lot more with decimals, except now we are going to be learning how to multiply and divide decimals. So today our goal, we are going to multiply tenths and hundredths by a one-digit whole number. So you're going to see some of the decimals that we've worked with, and we're going to talk a little bit about different strategies to do that multiplication. So if I'm starting by multiplying a decimal into the tenths place by a whole number, basically one way that you can think about that is if I have 2/10 and I'm multiplying it by 4, you can imagine it just being on a number line. Okay, and kind of skip counting those 2/10 4 times. That's what you see on this number line here. So we start at 0 and it goes up to 1. And in between the 0 and the 1, we're broken up into tenths. So what we're doing is we're jumping 2/10, 2 more tenths, 2 more tenths, 2 more tenths. So that was 4 times. So what we did was 2 tenths times 4. And where we land is right here, which is 8/10. So you can see that down here, I have 2/10 plus 2/10 plus 2/10 plus 2/10 is the same thing as 4 times 2/10, which ends up being 8/10. So that's one way to kind of think about it, is that number line, and you're skip counting those 2/10 however many times it is that you're multiplying. You can also imagine this and picture it as a place value chart with your tenths chips. So you'll see right here, I have 4 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4 of 2/10. So when I combine all of those together in this section right here, I have 8/10, which would get us the same exact answer of 8/10. Now, the next way that we would look at this problem is just simply doing the algorithm. So doing the multiplication out, which I think is, once you've kind of understood the concept of what we're doing, that skip counting or repeated addition, this is really going to be your go-to on how to multiply decimals. Now, we are just starting with smaller decimals times a whole number, but as you get into larger numbers or doing a decimal times a decimal, there's something that you are going to really make sure that you have solid. And I'm going to show you that right now. So when you are multiplying, so if I have 0 and 2/10 times 4, and I would write down this example in your notes, it's going to be really important that you keep track of the decimal. And what I mean by that is when we get into some higher level multiplication of decimals, it's going to get a little bit trickier. So I need you to really start to do what I'm going to show you right now. So when you have a decimal in a multiplication problem like we see right here, what I want you to get in the habit of doing is just swooping the decimal out of the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this decimal and I'm going to swoop it and just move it to the right. And I'll show you what I mean by that. What I need to keep track of is how many times I swooped that decimal. Okay, so right here I just moved it underneath that 2. So that's 1 swoop. Okay, if I had a number like this, 34 hundredths times 5, I would swoop that decimal 1, 2 times. Okay, and you would have to remember that. So going back to this problem, 2/10 times 4, now I can just go ahead and do regular multiplication. So I'm going to do 2 times 4, and I get 8. 4 times 0, I get 0. Now, here's where I need to remember that decimal. Because I swooped it out once, I need to swoop it back in to my answer once. Okay, so my answer is 0 and 8/10. You might just be saying, oh, Mrs. Diodati, why can't I just bring the decimal down and just go straight down? You could in this type of problem, but as you get into more complicated decimal multiplication problems where you're multiplying a decimal times another decimal, you are going to have to keep track of how many times you are moving that decimal in every factor, and you won't just be able to move the decimal right down. So I want you to get in the habit of doing what I'm doing here now. I'm going to give you another example over here in blue that I want you to write down. So let's say I had 0 and 7/10 times 3. Okay, so I'm going to start by swooping this decimal out of the problem. So it goes swoop right over here. And then I just multiply. So I have 7 times 3, I get 21. I put down my 1, I carry the 2. 3 times 0 is 0, plus that 2, I get 2. Now I need to swoop the decimal back in. So I'm going to start right here and swoop it in. So my final answer would be 2 1/10 for this problem. All right, so we're going to take a look at another problem now. And now you'll see that I have some 1s in my number with the decimal. So I'm going to take a look at this one right here. I have 3 times 2 4/10. So you can see that here visually with the place value chart. I have 3 sets of 2 1s, 3 sets of 4/10, and I'm combining each one. Right here, what's happening is I end up having 10 tenths that regroup over here into 7 1s and those 2 tenths left behind. So that's just showing you visually with the place value chart. I'm going to show you with your algorithm model. So I have 2 4/10, again, writing this in your notes, times 3. So I'm going to swoop that decimal out of the way. I don't have to worry about it while I'm multiplying. And then I'm going to do 4 times 3, I get 12. I put down my 2 and carry that 1. 3 times 2, I get 6. Add on the 1 to get 7. Now I need to remember to swoop my decimal back in. I get my answer of 7 2/10, which matches our visual place value chart model that we have right here as well. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at some problems with hundredths in our multiplication problem. So our problem here, Karen bought 3 apples at 45 cents each. How much did she pay in all? So I could add up 45 cents 3 times, or I could multiply 0 and 45 cents, or 45 hundredths, times 3. Just like we did before with our tenths, I'm going to move that decimal point out of the way. So I'm going to swoop it once, twice. Now I go through and I multiply like a regular multiplication problem. 5 times 3, I get 15. I put down my 5, carry the 1. 4 times 3, I get 12. Add that 1 to get 13. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1, I get 1. Now I need to remember to move my decimal back in, because if I thought about this right here, if I had 45 cents 3 times, it wouldn't make sense for me to have $135. It'd be nice, but I wouldn't have that much money. So I need to move that decimal place to the decimal point to make it make sense. So I'm going to swoop it the same number of times I swooped it out of my problem. So once, twice. So my answer would be $1.35. Okay, so your job right now is to make sure that after this video finishes, that you go through the rest of the slides and you complete the draw it slides and show me your work for those problems. Once you have completed those, submit your Nearpod, and then you can refer to your math schedule to see what to do next.